The Wolfcast is a co-show to the main Please podcast, where we feature my brother and dear friend, the Wolf. These shows are often recorded while under the influence of drugs and alcohol. No wolves were harmed in the making of this podcast. Please enjoy the show. Hello everyone, welcome to a little mini episode. I am your host, Pip.
And I am the guest tonight, Pip's brother, the Wolf.
This is Wolf. We got a couple of subjects tonight we're going to talk about. We've been putting down a few liquors.
A solid amount of liquor has been put down by us fellows tonight.
Started with some margaritas, switching to some vodkas.
Now, in terms of this podcast, which I believe, huge fan of the show.
Thanks, man.
And I believe your whole gimmick is every episode you find a new sponsor who you ask to sponsor you guys. Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like to use the word gimmick, but like...
Well, yeah. You know, as an outsider's opinion. But anyways, I'd like to ask Franzia Boxed Wine, please sponsor this podcast. Please. Your wine is cheap. It is affordable. You know, those are the two compliments I can give about it. And you know what? I'm going to give those compliments. So Franzia, if you need anyone to speak up for your cheap, affordable wine, fucking... please sponsor this podcast.
When you think wine, think Franzia.
Hell yeah.
That should. And also, I have copyright on that, so if you use that motto, Franzia, I would like some retributions or whatever.
At least one box
of
crisp white, already chilled, because it takes up a lot of fucking room in the fridge. But we'll go from there.
All right, so we have a couple of different subjects. We're not sure what we'll all get to. Depends how many liquors we put down. But first off, we have to talk about the somewhat infamous show, Tiger King. I have just finished watching it. I binge watched the last 6 episodes last night.
That's pretty solid.
Considering there's 7, it was a good long night for me. And I got a lot of Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin and the rest of the crew.
You're just catching up with what the rest of America is already tweeted about.
Yeah, I'm a little behind. But there's still some things I would like to discuss. And
yeah, no, for sure. I'm super excited about Tiger King. Normally... Here, let's sidetrack for a second here. Do you ever realize that rednecks and hipsters both hate everything that city people normally love?
Yeah, makes sense.
So the redneck side of me went full hipster on Tiger King for the first week and a half of its running, and I refused to watch it. But, I finally, the wife put it on the telly, and I just kind of dug into it, and you know what? It is fucking great content. I will say that right here, right now, for the entire podcast world to hear, all 24 of the listeners to this podcast, it is fucking great content.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. I saw some tweets about it. Didn't really think much of it, same as you. Finally put it on. Thought it was pretty awesome. But then I avoided watching it for about another week because whenever I'd turn my PlayStation on, I'd already have Call of Duty on. And I was too lazy to switch to Netflix always, so I just end up gaming instead.
It is hard to close application / free open another one. I feel your pain. I have been there. That's why whenever I put porn on my PlayStation, I end up just jerking off for like 7 days straight. Like... I can't switch to anything else. It takes too much effort.
It's fair. But yeah,
So the
Tiger
moral
King.
of that story is watch porn on your iPhone because that's a quick and easy X to get out of.
Quick and easy.
Quick and easy. Plus, incognito mode is great, and typing in Pornhub.com takes for fucking ever. Have you had Pornhub sponsor you guys yet?
Yeah, that was our first episode.
Oh, fuck. Well,
first episode.
Pornhub/Franzia. Please come sponsor this show.
Although I did hear Pornhub's doing a Corona promotion, free premium content.
Yeah, that's. I mean, Pornhub always has free content, and if we want to derail,
we're talking free premium HD vids.
Yeah, here's my thing though. I thought about doing it, and there's a couple reasons why I didn't. Is I don't know if you've been on Pornhub recently, but their advertisement is a roll of toilet paper next to Pornhub's Now Free. And I don't have enough toilet paper to be cleaning up all that cum from. It's just a bit much. And second off, I've kind of decided I like my porn like Mexican style film, like raw and dirty, no editing. Like, that crisp, clean stuff, it's not really my style, I've decided. And then third off, you have to put your email address in. And I don't have a porn throwaway email address that I can just have all that shit come to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I just use the podcast email address.
That's very fair. You should get me on that address list, and I'll be on every pornographic website with that.
But, speaking of porn, have you ever watched Joe Exotic's porn? If he's probably made some out there. That he hasn't released, but...
let's just do a quick recap of the show for all the fucking backwards rednecks and hipsters and anyone who's fighting the show. So, a quick recap in my mind would be Joe Exotic is a man in Oklahoma. He has a mullet, a mustache, and in terms of the show, what do you know the quote? He's a gun-toting, gay, polygamist, magician, tiger-raising...
Redneck,
yeah. No,
yep.
Yeah, that was the last word.
And yeah, so
yeah, that's a lot of things for one person to be. And that just kind of, like, that right there just, like, is saturated with entertainment for me.
It's pretty good. And he hates Carol Baskin, who's a hypocritical wannabe animal activist. And there's a few other tiger owners in there that interact with both characters with pretty interesting and unique ways, including a couple freaks, you could say.
That's what really sets this show apart from, like, Making a Murder was Netflix's last, like, super viral show, in my mind, like The Tiger King. Is there something in between that I really can't think about?
No, I thought the same thing.
And they're both in the same genre, too, this true crime genre. And I tried watching Making a Murder. I did. And you know what? Like, the main characters are a couple fucko rednecks. And you watch it for, like, an episode, and you're like, yeah, fuck that, it's done. But with Tiger King, they just keep upping the bar from every episode. They start off in this weird level where Joe Exotic has the largest big cat fucking private zoo in America, I guess. And, that's interesting to see this fucking redneck, gay, gun-toting redneck with all these tigers. Like, that's a good first episode. But if that's all it was, I'd be bored and out.
Yeah.
You smelling what I'm stepping in here?
Yeah,
son?
actually, and I'll be honest, you say they up it every episode. I think the last 2 episodes, they didn't up anything. It was more just like playing out what you already knew.
I mean,
there's really no new information in the last 2 episodes that I found to be like, oh my gosh.
So
no
are
way.
we? Before you go with this, are we just gonna do spoilers or non-spoilers for this?
Yeah, just.
So warning, warning. We're gonna do some fucking spoiler talk here for Joe Exotic Tiger King. But no, I believe you're exactly wrong. you must have been smoking a little too much dope to not realize how much this Annie was getting upped with every episode. And they introduced new characters to keep this Annie going up. And I just found it so fucking intriguing to see all these weird ass, just scumbags going through life in their different weird ass scumbag ways. It's vastly entertaining.
For sure, the last episode though, they didn't introduce anything new. The last episode I actually found to be almost boring.
Well, I mean that was still. So let's go kind of a little bit. I mean, without just skipping right to the last, let's just maybe try going a little bit through each episode, kind of what we remember, like the highlights until we get to the end. You know?
Yeah. So episode 1 is a big introduction, and they introduce a few aspects that at the end, you know, Joe Exotic's in jail, that Carol Baskin's husband dies, and Joe Exotic thinks Carol did it, and that they have tigers, and that's all kind of crazy, and that's pretty much the first episode.
I mean, not even that. So the first episode is kind of just this laydown of, you know, how many private zoos own big cats in America. And that's like the show lingo there. That's, fucking tigers, lions, and ligers. Like, they have ligers on the show, a lion tiger combo, which, you know, that's just a whole nother ballpark in itself, in my mind.
3/4 bloods.
3/4 bloods, exactly. So anyways, they start off just like introducing this weird concept to America of just like, there are these people who can buy big cats and raise big cats, and you have like, as they said, you have more tigers in the U.S. than the rest of the like wild combined, which is, you know, you never think that there's that many tigers fucking running around America. And Joe Exotic himself is such an interesting character, and we meet the infamous Carol Baskin, which if you've read any meme or tweet or fucking TikTok, like, you've seen some fucking Carol Baskin. Like, I love that bitch Carol Baskin.
That bitch
memes.
Carol Baskin.
They're the best. And Carol Baskin is a fucking animal rights person, right? Like, that's like her kind of thing. Like, she wants sanctuary for big cats.
She's a PETA believer, sponsored by, big into volunteer work. The episodes talk about that. That sort of gimmicky, I want to save the world kind of vibe.
What's her quote? Do you remember? You just watched it last night, right?
Hello, crazy cats and kittens or something.
Oh, fuck. That is accurate. And
good morning, crazy cats and kittens. And
hey, all you cats and crazy cats and kittens.
Yeah.
Oh. And almost worse than Carol Baskin, in my mind, is her fucking current husband. He's
a schmuck for her.
I mean, I've seen enough pussy online to know what a pussy looks like, and that's Mr. fucking Carol Baskin.
Mr. Carol Baskin?
Yeah, you know, she wears...
I think his name is John, was it?
I don't remember.
But yeah.
He's... All you know him as is someone who fucking supports this Carol woman, and neither of them... Like, they're honestly some of the worst people in the fucking show.
Yeah, they're pretty horrible. My favorite episode was by far the episode about Carol and her husband. I think it was episode 3 or 2.
Episode 3, yeah.
And I just found that to be so interesting, how that her husband disappeared and whatnot, and she got the money and she broke in, all that stuff.
Well, that's
quite fucking just like unbelievable shit, in my opinion.
That's where the show really like cemented itself for me as something that, you know, I was entertained with it. Like, I thought it was like about the same as watching YouTube before. I just like, you know, a good way to pass the time. You know, but then they take a full episode, deviate from Joe Exotic and his tigers, and go to Carol Baskin and how she, in my uneducated opinion, 80% chance killed her husband.
80%.
I'm just going to lock down 80% chance murdered her former husband.
See, now, that's what I thought, is the theories of how her husband died or where he went were some of the most, like, thought-provoking things I found in the show, I found myself thinking quite a bit about what happened to him and like what was the most likely scenario. And I definitely think Joe Exotic's main theory that her husband was put underneath a septic tank, I didn't think that was a good one. I think there was better ones.
Well, yeah, no, Joe Exotic is not a smart man.
No, but I definitely think she was involved in some way or another or knew about it, and she was clever enough to not get caught, unlike Joe Exotic when he got caught pretty fucking easily. I love there's this great quote, I think it's by the ponytail.
Doc and Tell.
Yeah, Doc and Tell, where he goes, who the fuck hires a killer for $3,000, a cross-country killer? Who you couldn't hire a cross-country killer for, 30 grand, 40 grand, maybe 100 grand.
Yeah.
And he bought one for $3,000. It's just I found that really funny.
Yeah. And that's kind of why the show is so good to me, is they're not afraid to take pot shots. Like, if you take a show like Blackfish or, some animal rights, Cowspiracy or whatever, that are like trying to just shed light on like some animal abuse or whatever, you just get kind of a boring show that paints one set of people as bad and one set of people as good. And this show, like, it takes the animal rights person and puts a full episode into considering whether she murdered her husband. And that just really sets the proper tone for the rest of the show, which isn't, are tigers being abused? Did Joe Exotic commit the crimes that he was accused of? It's more like, look at this crazy world that exists in America today that we don't even know is happening. Like, it's just like shedding light on a perfectly weird, strange part of America that, no one even knows is happening.
Yeah. And some of my favorite characters in the show, by far, were the employees of the GW Zoo, including the long-haired fella with the sunglasses.
Yep.
The guy with no legs.
Guy with no legs was one of my favorite.
And the girl who got her arm bitten off.
The guy with no legs was, I think, for me, the most likable person on the show.
Yeah, I liked the long-haired dude because he was picking out Walmart food. And that was...
I originally liked long-haired dude. But at the end, he turned on Joe Exotic hard in the court of law. Like, I don't know what the feds had on him or whatever. But, no leg dude, he wanted to testify for Joe. Like, he has a little bit of loyalty, kind of,
Yeah.
And that long hair guy just he was quick and ready to turn. No problems.
I still think, I don't know, I liked One-Armed Girl as well. Good, solid.
Now, you've officially missed the best fucking character in the show in my mind. And that's Joe's campaign manager.
Yeah, he was interesting.
So for the people of you who haven't seen the show, Joe Exotic not only owns more big cats than I think anyone in America, according to him, and he's not also gay, and doesn't also have two husbands, but he also ran for the president of the fucking United States in 2016 as a libertarian.
And then ran as governor of Oklahoma in 2018.
Yeah. And he got... Now, maybe this is what the show showed. It showed a picture of the polls at the time. It showed Joe with 20% of the gubernatorial votes.
Yeah. Which
just shows you how fucked Oklahoma is. Fuck that oblong-ass state, To potentially get 20% of the vote to Joe.
I was thinking about it, and I was like, that campaign manager, to get Joe 20% of the votes, like, he should get fucking hired somewhere.
Yes. If he can make Joe Exotic get 20% of the votes.
Yeah, he could make anyone.
Well, this campaign manager was my favorite guy, as I said. And he worked at a Walmart. And then Joe Exotic, happened to run into him at Walmart and said, yeah, I'm looking to run for president. And this guy's like, you know what? I have all these ideas for fucking public office. So Joe just hires this Walmart guy, and he comes on to be a fucking presidential political campaign manager, and then a gubernatorial. And his dose of like realism was really funny compared to like the crazy shit he was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I liked the campaign manager. I felt bad for him for sure. He had to witness that Travis kid, who was actually one of my top characters as well. I thought Travis was quite something. Really, I was kind of cut up when I saw he shot himself, and I felt bad for him, I guess.
For Travis being
for Travis,
dead?
Yeah.
How about Travis's mom?
I felt bad for Travis's mom too. She was a poor old.
And Travis is one of Joe Exotic's gay husbands. He's actually straight, but Joe Exotic fed him enough meth to where he would suck dick for it. It was my kind of like the vibe the show put on. And he ends up shooting himself in the head by accident, but slightly on purpose because he thought he had an unloaded gun, so he put the gun to his head and pulled the trigger and shot himself in the fucking head. And it's all on camera. And they show, like, you don't see him going down, but you literally see the flare of the gun going off.
And the reaction of the guy, and the campaign manager who saw it happen.
Like, where do you find all this shit on camera? And, like, it is super entertaining. Do you give star ratings on, fucking the Police podcast, old son?
You know, we haven't really reviewed much.
You haven't reviewed much.
It's hard to say.
Star ratings should be applied to all purposes in life.
Yeah, I mean, like, we have nothing against them. Go ahead and star rate the fuck out of this.
You know, show. In terms of fucking shit to do while you're quarantined, fucking Please podcast 6 out of 5. Joe Exotic's Tiger King. That's a solid 5 out of 5 watch, guys. It is the perfect quarantine watch. You watch an episode, you have sexual intercourse, you watch an episode, go to bed. It is perfect for this time in America right now.
Yeah, they really released that shit right on. And good job for Netflix. Kudos to Netflix for...
Yeah,
they made a great fucking show. I don't particularly love or hate Netflix. I fucking hate Disney, but Netflix, kudos to you. Some quality shit. Better than a lot of the other originals they put out.
Yeah, it's you're literally sifting through gold when you watch Netflix originals. I mean, you put your pan in the water, and most times they come up empty, but occasionally you get a fucking nugget in there.
You get a little,
And Tiger King is the fucking nugget in all the other streaming pile of shit out there.
Yeah. But yeah, so we recommend it. Check it out if you haven't. If you have, send in a few of your thoughts or something. Maybe.
Do you have an email address here? Let's plug the fucking cast here, bud.
Yeah, it's the Police Podcasts at gmail.com. You feel free to email or comment on the video.
And also feel free to comment about the excellent guest hosting tonight. I'll fucking... Let's get a poll. Can we get a poll up for the Police Podcast to vote whether I stay in and kick Marty out? Because I feel like 90% of your 25 listeners want to kick Marty out. I feel like I could be a great addition to the show.
I don't know about that. We'd have to have probably a little sit-down meeting. Get all professional.
You know what? Let's not get professional. Please, podcast listeners, get online, email in your responses and say, kick Marty the fuck out. Let's get Travis zooming in on these podcasts.
All right. Well, listeners, you heard the order. Do what you need to do. We're going to trope live along onto the next subject we were discussing earlier, and it is live, laugh, and love signs. And the humor behind them, the history behind them a bit, and maybe the ridiculousness behind them. So,
there's 3 words. There aren't 3 words, I should say, that start with L that I hate more than live, laugh, and love. Especially when you put them in that fucking order. It is, it's a travesty to human intelligence. We've come so far as a species only to be mitigated down to live, laugh, love. And I think it's just started a pandemic across America. A pandemic probably more devastating than coronavirus, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, live, laugh, and love signs are the most bland piece of shit home decor that that you can put up. And the funny thing about it is that some signs they try and avoid the live, laugh, love tag just by using one of the words. they'll just use love
or is that just someone who is too poor to buy the laugh and love signs, so they just buy live?
They can only afford the first L.
the trailer park people who appreciate this kind of fucking bullshit sign sometimes can't afford all three.
So yeah, just looking around the living room.
Now hold up. Let's put this in some context. My poor wife, God bless her soul, she's a good woman in a lot of respects, but fucking Christ, does she love chintzy ass dumb signs. And that's been a constant fight between us, you know, like almost up there with should we do butt stuff or not. Like it's a pretty hard fought battle, and she has so far won because I have a decent amount of stupid fucking signs across my living room.
Yeah, looking around, we have our love story. So that's the L one. It has all the dates of when they met, when they married, when they got engaged. Then there's
just tell them the fucking words. Our first day, our yes day, our best day.
Yeah, it's pretty cringy.
Oh god. Just fuck me with a nail-ridden dildo
now,
before putting that sign up in my house.
I got a question here. We have another sign that says, when life becomes too hard to stand, kneel. So does the life in this sentence qualify as a live?
You know, I believe it does.
Because that's a pretty good one.
So we are too poor to have laugh and love in that sign. So
or even live. It's a discount live.
Discount live.
You got like fucking
Dollar General version of live here.
Yeah, man. You got great value live on your wall. And then we have home is where I'm with you. Now, home is like the fourth step sibling in this relationship where they put home on shit. So we have two or three different homes and on the walls.
Yeah.
We have the home is wherever I'm with you. And then we have home with big letters, except the O is a wreath on the wall.
That's just a classy that's just classy decor in some poor people's mind.
I just feel like the way I think about all these signs is that when your guests walk in and they look at them, they're just like, that says something about you. So if they walk into your living room and they see home on the wall, are like, oh shit, this is where they live. I didn't know. I didn't know for a hot minute.
Yeah, that's like the true point. It's like we consider anyone who might come here too stupid to understand, that this is our home, or like the fucking basics. Like we have a 13-letter sign or a 13-piece sign, so it's 13 different pieces with all the letters of my last name on it on one of our fucking mantles. So it's like if we invite a guest over, it's just, oh, fuck, honey, what was their last name again? Do you remember? Do you remember the last name?
Oh yeah, look on the mantle.
Oh shit, it's on the yeah, I knew it was Schiefelbein. Like, yeah, now we got it.
Fuck, I'm glad they had that sign up.
If that sign wasn't there, I would have no idea what their last name was.
Okay, moving on to a few more. These just cracked me up. We have, this maybe is a little more typical one. We have live simply, laugh often, love daily. So that's like, it's someone heard live, laugh, love, and they're like, what if we inject this with a little more steroids of fucking bullshit?
That's live, laugh, love on bullshit Viagra right there.
Yeah. Just trying to jerk itself off with adding a few more words in.
And, here's a question, I guess. Like, I see these things every day, and I just start to, they zone out in my mind. But I just, is my wife just, coming in here and looking at these signs and just, flicking the bean, just, getting all sorts, live, oh, laugh, oh, love, oh.
It's like, instead of like having the wife catch the husband on Pornhub, it's the husband catches the wife on Pinterest.
She's just looking at signs.
She's just fingering herself to live, laugh, and love.
And I just find it so disgusting. You want to know the worst sign she's ever had? I wouldn't let her hang it up. I'd let her hang up enough of them, as you've told your humble viewers. But the worst one she ever had is in college. She had this hanging up in her dorm room, and it just always made me want to shit my pants. It was so bad. It was, let me see if I can get the quote directly right. Jump for the moon. No. Yeah, jump for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. Jump for the moon, because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars.
Hold up. Bro, have you ever taken fucking basic astrology?
Yes.
Have you ever looked
astronomy?
Astronomy. What's astrology then?
It's like studying the stars is like how it reflects on someone's life.
Oh, okay.
It's like if you're born in a certain constellation, you're
someone who loves astrology probably fucking made that sign.
Yes.
Some retard who thinks Capricorn means that they're something.
I mean, I'm a fucking Aquarius, and my dick's always hard. So, if that is a sign for Aquarius, email in. Let us know.
Yeah, I don't. I'm born in November.
I think that's fucking Pisces or something. I don't know.
Okay, we have two more that I'm going to bring up.
Now hold up. We're going past this last sign too quickly because there's some true dissection that needs to happen.
The moon one, or
the moon one?
Okay.
Yes. So she had this sign, and I looked at it every day I went over there for a fucking year. And I never said anything because I was homeschooled in high school. Now I'm in college and I'm getting laid. I'm not going to complain about what sign she has because there's too much good shit going on here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro.
So anyways, I finally, when she moves into her next house or apartment or whatever it was, she wants me to hang it up for her. I'm like, I can't do this. She's like, why?
It's against her moral code.
I'm like, Brady, I hate these signs. But this one, jump for the moon. Because even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. I said, technically right now...
Bro, jump for the sun. And if you miss, you're still going to fucking...
No, it's you jump for the fucking stars. And you know what? You'll be a little closer to the fucking moon when you're done. Like, do you realize how many fucking light years separate from us to the nearest star? Or
we've been to the moon. Yeah, we know what it's like.
We've been to the moon. Like, you can jump into a rocket and make it to the moon. We still haven't even come close to the fucking stars. Like, dear.
No one's in the stars. Elon, nobody's there. No one's landing there. Why would you want to land among the stars? No, fuck. Go to the moon. Go to Mars first.
Yeah, go to the, you know what? Jump for Mars, and if you fucking decide not to go, you can make it to the moon. Fuck it. But just the stupidity of that saying has always just... It's torn a hole in my soul, I think. It's just... that
is pretty funny.
It hurts. It hurts me on the inside.
That is pretty damn funny.
And I don't think we have any signs better than that. Maybe we do.
Well, this one I find... Two I find particularly funny is there's just a big letter S on the mantle.
So on the opposite, so for the people who can't see this, which is everyone but us, so we have Schiefelbein along the south wall of our living room, and then on the fucking west wall, we have another mantle, and one of the most prominent sign on that mantle is just a large S. So in case you fucking come into the room, look south and see Schiefelbein, and then by the time you turn back to the west, you're like, I don't fucking know what their last name started with. What was that letter again? It's there for the world to see.
Nice S.
A large ass S.
I just like how it's just the S, so you could interpret it to not necessarily mean the name, and maybe just S
obviously sardines or something just totally stupid.
No, it's meant for shut the fuck up, but we got too lazy and we couldn't like put all the letters up there, so we just went with S.
So there's two more like basic ones, and then one I find really funny. There's a forever loving you, which is, pretty basic, and then a best day ever with the date, which is, a little repetitive considering they always have.
We already have the best day.
Yeah, they already have the best day. But the one I find funny, it looks like to be maybe like a 50s milk carton, and the words grateful are cursively written on the front. And I'm just like, what the fuck does this mean? I trying to interpret this thing is quite humorous to me, because what are you grateful for? Why is it a carton? Why is it old looking? There's a lot of things that don't make any sense to me. I mean, maybe there's 10 white girls listening going, oh, I fucking love that Grateful Crate. I've been wanting to get a Grateful Crate for years.
Seriously, I heard the splash from your audience members, from the women who listen to this. Just fucking splash. Grateful! Grateful!
Yeah, man. Niagara Falls just pouring. Yeah, I find that one to be quite humorous. And there's one more actually. It says, where you go, I'll go. And it looks like an old washboard. I don't know. I think it's just an empty picture frame, actually, but it kind of looks like a washboard.
Honestly, these signs are all like Bible verses a little bit, but Jesus was too smart to say them, so they never got recorded. Or maybe this is the stupid shit Jesus said, and the people are like, yeah, Jesus, not your best work. We'll just cross that one out.
We'll attribute that one to John.
Yeah, we're just going to let these ones die. Then somehow modern white women were enlightened to find out Jesus's lost fucking shit words.
Yeah. I also, just looking at your shelf, I have one more humorous thing. You have the Holy Bible on your shelf, which is, cool, whatever. And it's propped up by Cards Against Humanity. And
now that's what happens when you marry a Catholic schoolgirl. I tell you. You can't not believe in God at that stage. But on the other hand, you're still gonna fucking play a midget having sex with a roller coaster if those cards come to you. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. That's good. Some quality stuff. There's definitely more in the kitchen area, but I think we've definitely...
No, we've
laughed the fuck out of this subject.
I've lived this subject.
I've laughed
at it. And paid take it away.
I fucking love talking about it, honestly.
I fucking love it. So maybe they are 3 words to live by. Who fucking knows?
I don't know. Maybe we're just hypocrites. But now I got a funny story. Happened a couple months back. So I was taking my younger brother to a wrestling match. And my dad said, oh yeah, I left some money on the counter. Take the money to pay for his entry fee. So I was kind of in a rush, and I told my little brother, grab the money, I'll meet you in the truck. And he grabbed it. I didn't really think about it. We get to the place, and I say, oh, hey, Mark, do you have that money to pay the entry fee? We're kind of in line. And he goes, oh, yeah. And he hands me a wad of cash, a thick-ass wad. And I was like, how much money did Dad leave? And then I realized it was all $1 bills. And I counted it in line there. There were 76 $1 bills that were left as to enter for this $12 tournament. And I was laughing a little bit. I was like, oh man, this is a little weird. And then I walk up to the table where they're registering the youth wrestlers.
So let's just consider this for a second, if you don't mind. So we've got $76 in $1 bills.
Yeah.
I mean, in a normal person's pay schedule, I would say they had a $100 bill. They went to a $24 stripper. Isn't that the most reasonable thing that you can come up with? If you're walking around with $76 in ones, honestly, especially fucking Marty, he's probably getting a $24 hooker at that rate.
And to put in perspective of how thick this is, I had the money folded in half, and when 76 $1 bills fold in half is about as thick as maybe a McDouble or a McChicken. So it's pretty thick, like to put that in your pocket, it's prominent, and to pull it out, it's easy to see. It's McChicken sized. And so then I say, hey, Mark, watch this. And I walk up to the thing, and, she's like, I was like, oh, how much, whatever. And she's like, oh, $12 for the entry fee. So then I pull out this stack of money, count off $12 in ones, hand it to her. And you could tell there's a little bit of a vibe of what the hell. And then turns out there's another $18 fee to register for some other thing that you need to wrestle for. And that was $18. So then I pulled out the ones again and counted off $18 and moved on with my life. Then I realized that the booster club for the local town had actually already paid his entry fee. So I had to go get a refund. And I walked back up, and the lady sees that I come back up. She's like, oh, what's going on? I was like, oh, I realized I've already actually paid. Can I get a refund? She goes, yeah, sure. And she counts me back off $18 in ones and gives it to me. And I was just like, what do you know? This lady remembered and just counted off the ones instead of giving me just a fucking 10, 5, and, 3 ones. She gave me 18 ones back, just the same exact ones. What an interesting little story about, you learn a little bit about someone, and yeah, it's a good laugh.
Not quite that similar of a story, but this is just jogging my memory here, and hopefully your listeners find this entertaining. I mean, if they like your normal podcast, it'll probably be fucking gold mine for you. But when I was a freshman in high school, or in college, I went to a fucking dance with a friend, and I really didn't like this friend that much, and I really didn't know much about this dance. It was like a university sanctioned event. And, I was like, what the fuck, let's never been laid, let's go try. So I went to this dance, and as we paid to get in, I'm like, hey, I told the guys at the counter, I'm like, hey, I'm just here to pick someone up. I'll pay to go in, but if I just come right back out with them, would it be okay for me to get my money back? And that was a lie. If it sucked, I didn't want to have to pay to go to this dance. And so anyways, we went down into the dance, and it was some fucking EDM fucking bullshit, which is not my cup of tea at all. I mean, it's more like I'm a coffee drinker, and it's like a peach tea type deal. Not my scene. And so anyways, we were there for like 5 minutes. I couldn't handle it, so I'm like, hey man, let's just get the fuck out. So we left right immediately after. So we were there for about 5 minutes left. I went back to the ticket guy, and I was like, hey, remember I just came in. My friend said he's coming right up, so I was just wondering if I could get that money back. And the guy was like, he kind of treated me like I was a major asshole. I'm like, you know what? I kind of am being an asshole, but you know what? Fuck this. I was there for 5 minutes. I don't care. So he actually gave me my money back, and we left. And as we were leaving, my friend's like, man, fucking Schiefelbein, you're a fucking cold-ass steel heart right there. I'm like, I mean, what do you mean? I just got some money back. I know it's cheap, and I know it's a little bit embarrassing, but, fuck it. He's like, I mean, do you realize this dance is like a charity auction, like a charity deal for autism? And you just like, I mean, I understand you didn't like the dance, but you at least could have just let your money go for autism, right? Like, oh, I missed the memo on the autism part of this dance. Oh, fuck. Anyways, I feel like the same way, where like, you go into one of these situations, and the guy gave me my money back, but fuck, those $14 might have fucking cured autism, and I just fucking stole that right away from him.
We're just thinking like a GoFundMe page, and like, we're $14 short. Fuck! Fuck! All the scientists are just sitting there like, fuck!
God. We could cure autism, but we need $14 more to make this go through. And I'm just sitting there buying a fucking McDouble about the same size as 76 $1 bills.
That's funny. Them scientists pissed as fuck. That's a good story. Yeah, there's definitely like with cashiers in general, with wrong payments, it's always awkward, or like trying to get money back here and there.
You ever been in a situation where like a cashier or bartender or someone like charges you way too little?
Yeah.
And you just feel like you're robbing the fucking bank.
Yeah.
And you're just like sitting there like, oh boy. Oh boy.
Or if they give you more money back than what you needed, or it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been in like the reverse situation, kind of, where I was at a bar once and I paid for like a double round of drinks and I got like $76 back on a 20. And like I ran around all fucking night telling people about it because I thought it was the hottest fucking shit in the world. Next morning I wake up and like count through my wallet, like you do, like, what was the actual damage from the night before? And I was missing $100 bill. And it turns out that my drunk ass had given the people 100. And I got 76 back, and I thought I fucking robbed them clean. Like, they could have taken all of it, except for $3, and I'd have been like, yeah, you know what, a little bit expensive, but we'll deal.
That's pretty good. $76 in ones.
In ones.
That was the same 76, just got passed around. Ended up on me finally. Fuck, it always ends up on me. That's a good one. Well, kind of going off that, we are going to talk about some of the positives. I know everybody's fucking sick of hearing about COVID. Believe me, I'm sick of talking about it. But we have a few humorous, enlightened looks at maybe some of the positives that are going on there that the news isn't covering, and that you can also probably get a laugh out of.
I mean, if you follow YouTube as closely as I do in my bored ass mind, you'll have seen that some good news is like the trending video for a little bit there. And we figured if that stupid shit could garner that many views, maybe us spreading some good news for COVID could garner some viewership. So fucking send this to your friends, and just spread the good news. You have a moral obligation, I feel like, Pate. Do you agree?
Yeah, spread the news, bro.
Spread the fucking news.
It ain't that fucking hard. It's 4 clicks on a computer and like 5 on an iPhone.
Yeah.
4 on an Android. 3 in a Galaxy. I don't know how many for them new phones. The
LGs?
What are you going with? The LGs. No, I was thinking of like
LTZs, the
no,
5Gs.
You hear them commercials and it's like, I don't know what like worldwide wireless phones or something.
Oh.
Like
Cricket?
Yeah, Cricket. Yeah, Cricket. They're like, oh, buy Cricket phones. And I'm like, who the fuck actually goes out there and is like, this Cricket shit?
Yeah,
I guess I can't do the Cricket noise, but yeah.
Yeah, so, my first positive for coronavirus, I guess, is, as far as, like, I'm concerned...
1 word, 4 letters, just say it.
Hashtag, we too, is what I'm going to say. And, since coronavirus has happened, I have not heard on the news about any women being raped by famous people or molested or touched in any way. You know what? And that has to be a solid positive for women across the world. All it took was a pandemic to keep them from getting raped up. So
yeah, that's a good point. And now there's 2 trains of thought here. There's either COVID stopping because everyone's staying inside, or that it's actually fucking happening and no one gives a shit because they're scared of COVID.
I mean,
so we actually don't know if this is a
we
true
don't
fact.
know. We don't know if COVID has stopped rapes,
but we think it probably did.
But it kept it out of our eyes, so we're just assuming that all rapes have stopped now due to COVID.
We do know for sure that all college rapes have most likely stopped.
Most likely,
because all colleges are shut down.
The only people around college right now are professors. And, I mean, the only thing they can rape are those textbooks. So it's minimal rape opportunity.
Definitely a lot less raping going on in college, which is great news for the world.
Solid news for the world. Hashtag COVID-19.
What actually made me think of this is I am in a club for a pro-life thing, and
I thought you were gonna say you're in a club for raping. Attendance has been way down.
No, it's a pro-life club, and they sent out an email blast that there was no abortions in South Dakota, the state of South Dakota, for the first time ever in so many years, blah, 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 because the clinics shut down, obviously. So I was just thinking, oh, that's good news to hear, but also I wonder if there's like other things that have been shut down that like you don't really think about, like rape. Rape is shut down. Pedophiles gotta stay 6 feet from them kids.
Yeah, fuck. Parents don't give a fuck about their kids when they're playing at the park unless COVID-19 is happening.
Yeah.
Then if anyone gets close, fuck, they're gonna be on them. Fucking. Let's give a round of applause here. Now, if you notice that crisp, clean clapping sound, that's because the Police Podcast has recently come into ownership of a new mic system.
No longer recording off the phone. Finally bought a mic. It's Fifi technology. Great fucking cheap ass mic with a lot of cool feats.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's shout out to them.
It has great feats. Let me just tell you, the feats are incredible. And this was purchased during COVID 2019, right?
Yeah, on a promotion. Yeah, they had a little promotional sale. A lot of online people are doing promotional sales. Awesome.
So I feel like you guys might have talked about this on one of your previous episodes, and maybe us earlier today even. But the free Pornhub COVID-19, right?
Yeah,
we talked about it.
We talked about it on this episode already.
Let's just reference it and
like 10 minutes ago we talked about it.
It was more than 10 minutes ago.
20 minutes.
Fuck, I'm time tripping.
How long have we been recording? 51 minutes?
Yeah, no, that's at least 41 minutes ago.
No, because the first 20 were for sure Tiger King.
Well, fuck it.
I checked it.
Fuck it. We're not going to be counting anything, but you know what?
Minimum 30.
Premium Pornhub, that's a fucking positive. What other positives we got off of this?
I don't have to see fucking sports results.
You know what?
It's a great positives for all those people who don't give a shit about NBA and NBL and BLA and TCA and
WTFs and
WWE. Oh, WWE is probably the one I only care about.
There's two positives from that, and I fucking hate sports. And
hate the fuck out of them almost.
Hate the fuck out of pretty much. I like high school sports. I mean, just because
some college.
Just because the women are young enough for me to be attracted to them mostly, but that's a COVID-19 joke. It's okay. The rape still happens. We just don't see it now. But anyways, so no, I'm a huge fan of high school sports, but the professional stuff is just like it shuts my mind down. And if you turn on ESPN now, like it's great content. It's like axe throwing, professional slapping. Like it's great content now.
It is pretty cool content. They had NASCAR on ESPN now. But since of the COVID, it was actually just a video game sim NASCAR race that they actually broadcasted. And
now, were these NASCAR drivers driving or like professional NASCAR video game
I don't know about that, actually. I'm assuming video game players. But yeah, they broadcasted that.
ESPN was broadcasting a fucking Rocket League tournament the other day.
Really?
Yeah.
See, there you go. Some actual quality content for once.
Quality content on ESPN for once.
Yep. Definitely digging it. Don't give a fuck about the draft.
We need to come up with the hashtag for the positives of COVID right here.
Yeah, that's...
just put it in the back of your mind. Or listeners, if you think of something real fucking cool, send it in. And, we'll use it for all of the positives we come up with in the near future here.
Some good positives out there for Rona.
Rona, is that what it's called amongst the cool kids?
The
Rona?
Rona is a slang word I've heard used for it. The Rona, so on and so forth. I prefer saying COVID. Corona, I don't like to say, mostly because I think it's a little overused, and it does make me think of the beer, no matter what.
I mean, it's a shitty-ass beer for a shitty-ass virus.
But...
It's a pretty fair fucking statement there.
Actually, of all the beer I have drank, which is not much, I do like Coronas, actually. So... But I do like saying COVID more. It sounds a little more educated.
Yeah, no, you definitely sound a little smarter if you're saying COVID-19.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just...
Now I hear there's...
Do you ever see the R. Kelly memes about COVID-19?
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not much of a memer, so if I'm recommending one, it's probably fairly entertaining. But the COVID-19 memes for R. Kelly are just like, it shows a picture of R. Kelly or whatever, fuck it. And it's like, a COVID-19? Oh, man, I thought she was COVID-16. Like child, underage sexual intercourse referentials of humor. And I always get a crack out of that, as disturbed as that might be.
I'm looking up some R. Kelly memes, see if I can find any of these.
Well, in the meantime, while he's looking it up, just remember, subscribe to the Please podcast. We aim to please. Is that your catchphrase? Because it should be.
We aim to please? No, we don't really have a catchphrase.
No, fuck. Subscribe to the Please podcast. They aim to please. I've spent a lot of boring ass hours listening to podcasts, and the Please podcast is one of the best ones out there. So, just they're learning, getting better with time. Just take a feel, get into the vibe. Listen to a little high quality content.
Yeah, we do this for mostly our own entertainment. I'll be honest, for me. I like that some people listen, but honestly, I've actually, on the first recordings we did ever, in the very early stages of this idea, me and Marty had a whole episode we did of just saying fuck the viewers. And this is before we'd even release them, so it was impossible to even get viewers. And essentially I want to do this for my own fun and entertainment. And the moment I start doing it to get love and attention from people is the moment I feel like, I'm just becoming something I hate, which is those influencers on social media and whatnot.
You know what? I feel like influencers get a lot of hate, man. Huh? They're not influencing anyone to do anything bad. Best case scenario, influencers are or worst case scenario, influencers are use a fucking tan shade of skin tone when you put your makeup on. That's most influencing out there.
Yeah, but I just think that it's such a fucking stupid waste of a non-essential job.
Non-essential job.
That's non-essential as fuck.
I would say that's fairly non-essential.
So the point I'm making is that I don't want to do any of this for oh my gosh, we have so many views and likes. I just like to fucking talk and be recorded.
So if you're saying...
I'm narcissistic enough to like to be recorded, but not narcissistic enough to like getting likes.
Yeah, but let's just... If you could get 50,000 listens or hits or downloads an episode, you wouldn't change a few things for that?
Well, I think that just kind of comes with being professional on higher standards for anything.
If you had, if you just had to say vote for Bernie Sanders, without irony, to get 50,000 hits.
No.
You wouldn't do it for 50,000 downloads?
I have too much morals.
Oh, fuck you.
50,000? The only reason that I would ever want this to be famous is to open up some doors to meet other famous people and interview them on the podcast, just for fun. And not really to gain a huge benefit from. I just would really like to meet some comedians and interview them on a podcast, or some people I admire in the film world, perhaps. But I don't think we'll ever blow up, and that's not a big deal to me. But it's fun to make.
I've also decided I'm never going to get blown, so we're in the same boat here.
Get blown?
I didn't really think that would require fucking explanation.
I was thinking too deep into it. We have a fucking little problem with the new mic stand. There's a rubber protective layer that's just coming off a little bit, but we're good.
That tends to happen usually at the worst times. What other positives for COVID-19 do we have?
Fuel's cheap. That's great.
Hell yeah.
Fuel is super cheap. A shitty time for fuel to be cheap.
That's the irony. I have kind of a low key positive, just personally, is I've never had a problem wiping my ass with paper towels, and now it's you can't find toilet paper anywhere, so I don't feel quite so bad. If I run short, then just grab the stack of paper towels rather than the toilet paper.
That's an interesting positive. Yeah. Corona has made that stuff that used to be socially unacceptable a little bit more acceptable. Some of the, you could say, cringy or grosser things that a lot of us do. Because we're all fucking so stuck inside and bored that the real side of some people is definitely coming out on the internet. And you're seeing it in the TikToks and the Vines. or the
Vines.
The memes.
Fuck, you been watching Vines lately?
I do Vine compilations at night sometimes.
Oh fuck. So for our listeners out there, for the Please podcast listeners, if you're sitting
AKA Dawson French.
Yeah. Dawson, if you're sitting at home watching Vine compilations by yourself late at night, that's usually the time to seek medical help, to go somewhere serious and, discuss where you went wrong and how to move forward in the future.
Yeah, maybe I should do that. Pretty fucked in the head. But, Vine has some quality stuff. And it's hard to get sick of a lot of them. I do try and find new ones at least. I'm not just constantly rewatching the same compilation. I'm always trying to find a new one.
Don't even trip, dog. You're all cool.
But, yeah, so we're at about an hour even right now. The only other subject we have on the list is the show Ozark. It's number 2 on the Netflix. That's one thing I'm going to talk about real quick is the Netflix
top 10
has a new top 10 system.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I kind of enjoy it just for the more than anything to see what people are watching. Not so much to be like, oh, this must be good if everyone's watching it. Because a lot of times most people watch shit. But it is interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, and
it's like the trending page on YouTube. It's cool to see what's on top.
It is. It's exactly like the trending page of YouTube. 90% of it is shit, and occasionally you find something you're like, yeah. Give it a poke. But
what I like about it is that usually with Netflix, you turn it on, and Netflix is like they have the category popular on Netflix. And it would just be Netflix original after Netflix original that I've never heard of. And I'm like, there's no way these are the most popular shows. You're broadcasting.
Fucking way.
That is pumping your own dick as much as I've ever seen it.
Yeah,
this Netflix top 10, I hope, is a little more true. And it's not just a revamped version of popular on Netflix.
There are a lot of Netflix original.
I did notice that today or yesterday, last night. And, I was a little afraid. Because at first I was hyped up about it. Now I was a little scared.
I mean, if anything, I hate the culture of watch every single popular thing on Netflix. And when I see that top 10, all I think is, just, fuck, this is just feeding into that, that same culture of, we gotta watch this, you gotta watch that, you gotta fucking watch this.
It's number 1, have to do it.
Yeah. And then every time I watch one of those shows out of my own volition, now that it's on the top 10, I feel like it'll be influenced. Like, I enjoyed Ozarks before I saw it was on the top 10. Now that it's on the top 10, I'm kind of pulling back, I'm getting a little bit cold feet on it.
It's a hipster coming out of them.
Oh, fuck.
But no, I do like Ozark. Mostly that I don't want to talk too much into spoilers of Ozark because that'd be one I'd feel bad if I spoiled for anyone. It's good enough. But the real reason I like it is the actor of Marty Bird, who is played by Jason Bateman.
Yep.
I've always liked Jason Bateman. I think he does a fantastic job in the show.
Do you think... Now, here's just one quick question for you. If you were Jason Bateman and had a son, how tempting would it be for you to name him Master?
Be a good one. Be a good meme. But he doesn't seem like the meme type of guy. But if I was, Jason Bateman.
I feel like his nose progressively gets longer. Like, the more I see him in anything, it's just always just a bit more out there in the world.
He's got a lengthy nose.
I'll give it to him. Keep it to yourself a little bit, bud. Quit shoving that nose.
Maybe consider plastic. Perhaps. You got the money.
No, I enjoy Ozark. I think it does a really good job of bringing enough cinematic quality to it to keep it interesting in that respect. If you're a big movie fan, the cuts and edits and the shots, it has some really cool shots and stuff in it that are really nice. The tension in it is kind of a big focal point, I feel like. I feel like they push it a little bit too much sometimes, you know what I'm saying? It's like you watch a movie like Old Country for No Man, and someone has a monologue or something that's pretty threatening, and like you have that like the whole time you're supposed to be getting more and more nervous, like fuck, something bad's gonna happen. I feel like in Ozarks, there's usually at least one an episode, maybe one every other episode type of deal. And that gets like that's really hard to maintain interest to hear that many like threatening monologues and so many different episodes. It's just it doesn't quite. I mean, I feel like it'll get harder and harder to keep going. Like as you get, I'm partway through through season 2, so as you get through season 2 to season 3, I feel like that'll be harder and harder to maintain.
You stop learning as much about the characters, and you just start getting more repetitiveness. These characters aren't so much growing. It's almost like they've hit a top, and they're limited out to just say the same things over and over, which is usually something ominous, like we have to do this because of this, and they just keep saying that over and over. Yeah. I've noticed that a lot in season 3 particularly. The dialogue goes down the shitter. It's
I'm partway through season 2 right now. So are you into season 3 then, or?
I binge watched about half of the season while I was down in Iowa because Morgan was sick, and I got really nothing else to do down there. So I watched 5 episodes of season 3, and I definitely with each episode stopped caring less and less, and now it's been 2 weeks since I've even thought about turning it on. So
yeah, well, season 1 is really solid.
1 week. Yeah, season 1 is so far my favorite.
Season 1 was a great time. I enjoyed pretty much every minute of it. There's one enjoyable thing about watching the show is me and my wife watch it together. And every time Marty goes to the strip club, he owns a strip club and launders money through it if you haven't watched the show, or just need a quick refresher. Every time Marty goes to the strip club, my wife just says, "Gross!" And I just get a little chuckle out of that every time. But she also does the same thing whenever the gay FBI agent makes out with another dude, except it's louder and more vehement. So she would rather see ugly-ass stripper bodies from her tone of voice than a couple dudes kissing. Like, well-maintained, usually decent-looking dudes. I don't know. I can't judge very well, but they're not as ugly as the strippers, I don't think. So that's just like a little secret enjoyment I get from the show every time it comes on. It's just that gross that comes from her without fail always lightens my day.
My secret enjoyment I get from Ozark is the main character's name is Marty, and quite often that name gets thrown around in a funny way when I just put it in the reference of Marty, my friend, co-host of the podcast. And one of the greatest lines, which I still have recorded on my phone, is in the show, Marty Bird's wife is having a fight with him and yells, "Oh, fuck you, Marty." And I just happened to take a Snapchat that recorded that exact phrase. And I sent it and saved it, and I got passed around our friend group and constantly sent and resent whenever Marty would do something silly. And just made me my little secret enjoyment.
Yeah,
And I, shout out to Marty. You're a great guy. Love you, bud.
Yeah, but seriously, fuck you, Marty.
So.
Dear fuck.
But yeah, Ozark, I'd recommend. It's number 2 on Netflix. Right behind Tiger King.
Personally, I'd recommend buying a good movie on Blu-ray and popping it in a premium Samsung Blu-ray player. But if you don't have any of that shit and all you got is Netflix, Ozark, there's worse ways to spend your time.
Yeah, for sure. But other than that, it's about all we got for today.
Oh, hell yeah.
We consumed some good liquors. We had some good chats.
Fucking Franzia, thanks for getting me through this. Please come sponsor the show.
When you think wine, think Franzia.
Yeah. If you want to drink your wine out of a box, fucking Franzia is the way to go.
Shout out to New Amsterdam and vodka or tequila. I don't know what brand it was.
I think New Amsterdam's vodka. So
No, New Amsterdam vodka and also tequila. I don't know what brand the tequila was.
Liquor.
Liquor. Shout out to Liquor.
Shout out to Liquor. Please sponsor us.
Dionysus, please sponsor us.
I don't know if you knew this. Keith was Dionysus for the Greek god event for the shit on campus, the Greek life events on campus. And he dressed up, and he's the god of, whatever, love and alcohol.
No, just he's technically the god of wine, but semantics.
Well, anyway, he's also god of love, according to the internet. And so Keith dressed up with a condom, sash, I guess.
Yep.
And then a bottle of wine and did his little thing.
Fucking a sachet of condoms is pretty clever.
Yeah, it's pretty good, clever.
Promotes safe sexual intercourse, which is always a plus. Wrap it before you tap it. Hashtag Trojan, please sponsor us.
Okay, we can
No, sorry. We're just gonna stick with Franzia.
We're overbiting here.
We already asked Franzia and all liquor in general. Trojan, wait till next episode.
I think porno was thrown in there. But all right, yeah. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys have a good night. We had a great one.
Yeah,
we are the Please Podcast, signing out.
Peace.
Goodbye, moon man. You say goodbye.